Welcome, Thomas Eriksen, founder of the Norwegian black metal project Mork. Tonight we talk about the new album Monolith, coming out on June 19 for Peaceville. I'm eager to hear all the details behind this monumental work. Are you ready?
I am ready, and thank you so much for having me.
Monolith seems to rise from a huge, almost crushing existential weight. What emotional or personal spark gave birth to this new chapter?
Oh wow! I suppose over the years, this is album number 8, and I have always wanted to take it one step further, and that is creative-wise and expressional-wise, sound-wise. I don't just want to copy my earlier work, if you know what I mean. If you listen to the early Mork albums, it's more, specifically traditional, primitive Norwegian black metal sounding stuff. And I have tried to just evolve more and more from that. So we have reached album number 8 now. And obviously it has its own voice. It's the next step in the evolution of Mork, which is super important to me. And everything is based on my personal experiences and feelings, my day-to-day life, I suppose. I don't have a lot of music that is inspired by a movie or a book or a band or anything. Most stuff is from my own life, basically, and that's the way I want to do it, to make it most honest for myself.
Your personal experience with life.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. This new work feels more static, more oppressive, almost realistic, ritualistic. Was slowing everything down a conscious choice to make the weight even more unbearable, and why?
The weight of the feeling, the weight of the music.
Yes.
The concept of the floating or hovering monolith is quite easily explained. It represents the weight of reality.
Yes.
And you are a human, I'm a human. We know that reality can be harsh. We have a weight on our shoulders that is almost crushing at times, and that is what this monolith is representing. But the concept of the album, imagery, you see the front cover and stuff like that, it's something that's been in the back of my mind since I was a child, and I saw, the classic Stanley Kubrick movie, 2001 Space Odyssey. I suppose most people have seen that one, and there you have that big, black, mysterious monolith standing, throughout time. And that is something that's stuck with me in my mind, and I just like the feel of a huge, strict, concrete mass that is perfect in the shape and the lines. I don't know, there's something strict about it that I like, and it's also inspired by brutalism in architecture. About a year or two ago, I started to write some music directly inspired by brutalism, which is just big, vast, empty concrete halls and rooms, which has this coldness and emptiness about it. Dystopic, also misanthropic in my mind, anyways. And a lot of that has bled into this album. If you listen to the first single, Ødelagt, that came out just this Easter, that song was written for this project I'm talking about. It was not written for Mork at all. So just by coincidence, Asgeir Mikkelson, who is playing drums on this new album, he heard that demo when we were sitting around in the studio just talking, and he was like, "Oh, you should use this for Mork." And my mind didn't really compute there, because I placed that track in its a separate folder, if you know what I mean. But I kind of tasted the idea and thought a bit about it, and I was like, okay, let's try that. I brought that idea into Mork, and I finished the music and the lyrics, and now this really represents the album in my mind. And it's a new personal favorite for me because it's Mork at a new level, if you know what I mean.
Yes, it's for you a new chapter, maybe.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, so an evolution.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. You worked with artists who share a very precise and almost spiritual sonic vision. You have around you musicians, great musicians, but also great sound technique and for mastering. How important is for you to be surrounded by those who understand the emotional and philosophical weight of your music?
In my partners that I'm working with, you mean?
Yes.
Yes. Well, basically, I do everything alone, and I have always been doing it alone. Writing and recording.
Yeah.
Because I have this full overview of the products. When I start, I'll start with a little riff that is just nothing yet.
Yeah.
It's becoming a song. I already kind of know where I want it. Drums, bass, sound, everything. So I have this super egotistical trip when I make music because it's mine and I know where I want to go. So I'm not a very good person to share songwriting, if you know what I mean. I prefer to do it alone, which is also important for me as a human being. When I am, I'm an only child. I grew up playing alone and using my imagination and drawing and everything. But the difference with this album is that Asgeir Mikkelson, as I mentioned, he's a famous Norwegian drummer. I invited him to do the drums on this album. So he basically took my principal drum tracks and made it into his own thing. And I think that worked quite well. The album got a new kick. The music has a new spark in it because he is a real drummer when I'm kind of a guitarist drummer, if that makes sense. And I also I have been mixing albums now for many years at a different studio. I think I've been using this guy since the third album up to the seventh album, and now I wanted to try something new. So I got in touch with the Top Room studio and then Børge Finstad, who is the owner there, and he what actually pulled me towards him and his studio is that he did my two favorite Mayhem albums, which is Grand Declaration of War and Chimera, which came out in the beginning of the 2000s. And I've always been a big fan of the production and the sound and the music on those albums. So he mixed my album this time around. So I took a trip up to his studio. It's about 3 hours from here, and spent a couple of days there together, only me and him, and we adjusted and did the mixing, and that was a nice experience to try something new like that. And I'm pretty happy with the outcome. And the mastering guys are Jack and Maur, Enormous Door and Applebaum Mastering. They have been working with me. I've been working with Maur for 2 albums now, and Jack has been mastering my stuff since the third album also, I believe. And those guys always deliver, and pleasant to work with, and I feel it's a strong and nice team.
Fantastic. And about the artwork, is powerful and almost a symbol of condemnation resistance. How is important for you that the visual side reflects the same intensity of your music?
I think that this album is more representative through the artwork than ever, more than ever. This represents the music really well this time. And earlier it was super important to me to do. I think it's from album number 3 that I started to use the hand drawings. I have the lady Jannicke Wiese Hansen who did some famous Bursum albums in the 90s, and she did the first satirical album. Famous artists, and she did the first drawn album cover, which is super important. I from my own experiences, from finding, discovering Bursum and just looking at those drawn covers, it was very representative of the music and atmosphere as well. So I did that for several years, working with David Thierry from France, who did my next albums there. But as I told you, I want to evolve. I want to try something new. So my previous album, Syv, which is album number 7, I tried a painting for the first time. And that is done with the same artist who did this one, Monolith, which is Kjell Åge Mæland. And he really nailed it this time. And it was a long process. He did several tries and sketches and paintings before we really hit home with this final one, which you can see today. And I also have to mention David Thierry, the French, my French friend again. He has made the Monolith album, let's call it logo, which is like this eternity symbol that's can be seen on the back. So I'm still working with David as well. And there's something about, you mentioned the word weight earlier, the weight of reality, the heavy riffs, the heavy music, the dark soundscapes fits the artwork perfectly this time. So I'm really happy.
Yeah, I imagine. The title is very short, Monolith, but represent in totally the weight of this album.
Absolutely. And it's also monolith. It's monumental, it's majestic. It's a very good word. I appreciate the word.
Your music never seeks compromise and stays loyal to a raw personal idea of black metal. With your immense experience and a life spent for music, what does it mean to be authentic today?
I think to be authentic has always been important. That is what pulls a crowd towards an artist, I believe, because there is something that is heartfelt. It's super important. And today I hate to bring it up, but with the artificial intelligence bullshit that we are fronting today, I suppose it's more important than ever, because everything is fake today. Just use 5 minutes on the social medias, YouTube, whatever. There's AI videos, AI music, AI pictures, AI logos, and I hate it. It's like a cheat code to life. And I'm 42. I'm 42 years old. I grew up in the 90s, so I played a lot of video games. And I enjoy the video game more if I do not use the cheat codes, if you know what I mean. Then you get to experience the game as it's supposed to be experienced, instead of just typing in a code and going straight to the final boss. I think people today are lazy, and the laziness actually kills creativity. I'm sorry to say. But luckily there's still artists out there that paint and write and play music and shape sculptures and stuff. That is something that will always remain within people, you know. So I'm worried in the big scheme of things, but I know that people appreciate real art at the end of the day.
Do you think that your music, your vision, can create a connection with a new generation of listeners?
I believe so. It's a bit funny because the last couple of years, actually, there's been a lot of younger listeners and younger people at the concerts too, that approach us after the shows and on social media. And I think that's a really cool thing to see, because then, you know, there's a new generation out there, and they don't all just go to the classic mayhem controversy stuff. They actually listen to third wave and newer bands as well. You know, my band started in 2004, so it is a newer generation band, obviously. But the kids appreciate my art just as well as the originals, and I think that's cool. In some way, I have become one of the old guys. I have realized after I have passed 40 years of age, and now my band is over 20 years. So yes, everyone has to grow up sometime.
About the upcoming tour, bringing Monolith on stage means turning a crushing stillness into physical energy. What kind of experience do you want to create live, and what can fans expect from your show? For example, in Italy on October 20 at the Slaughter Club in Milan.
Well, I am a kind of band that we do not use a lot of bells and whistles, as they say, or smoke and mirrors. We are a rock and roll band.
Yeah.
We go on stage and we play live for the people. Not a lot of effects or, you know, cannons or burning bushes. You know, it's obviously we do the corpse paint. That is something that is remaining from my old inspirations from the black metal when I got into it, and that is something that still remains. And you know, when I'm on stage, I am getting lost within my own music and the atmosphere of my music. But at the end of the day, it's a rock band that plays live, and I don't think I need a lot of effects to connect with an audience, because we are sharing the same air and the same space anyways. So you know, I'm a kind of old school like that. And people can expect a Mork show, and no playback, no backtracks. It's only for people who are gelling together on stage, playing my music.
A real and human show.
Sorry?
A real and human show.
Absolutely.
Like your album, like the album.
Absolutely. You know, my idols is AC/DC and Black Sabbath and Motorhead and, you know, Iron Maiden, all those classic bands, and they did the real thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, here we go. And you know, that's just something I will always be into, I suppose.
Amazing. Thank you, Thomas, for for this wonderful interview, for your kindness, for your time you shared with us. I truly hope to be on your show in Milan this October, and I would be a pleasure to meet you in person.
I am sure we can do that. It is Milan, that's right. And you know, sadly it's only one show in Italy, but it's one show at least. And You know, I'm like most rock and rollers. I have had my share of drinks and beers and stuff and liquors, and I have to say it's exciting to visit the home place of Fernet Branca. And let's make a deal. Let's if I meet you at the show, we will have a Fernet Branca together. Is that
Yes.
can we make a deal?
Yes, of course. Okay.
And thank you so much for the attention.
Thanks to you. Bye. Bye,
Bye.
Thomas.
See
Bye.
see you.
See you.